All right, quick one. Greetings to everyone. I'm here to explain on a previous post I made on Adam and Eve were not created on this part of our earth. And I'm here to explain. In my previous video, I explained about the time God used in creating the earth. I went into details. I brought out facts of why I think and I feel that God did not create the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. So today I'm going to be addressing the post I made on Adam and Eve, that they were not created on this part of our earth. To begin, I'm going to lay a foundation on the fact that, because that's the only way we can establish this fact, which I believe is the truth. Globe Earth and flat Earth. This has been an issue of debate for a very long time. But the facts are all in front of us. They are there in the scriptures. History talks about it. The great kings who went into astrology and all those, science, knowledge about science, they all talked about it. And they all believe that the earth is flat. So for us to understand the reason why I said Adam and Eve were not created on this part of our earth. And remember, I told you I'm going to connect this fact that I'm trying to bring, I'm going to connect it with the flood. Now, we don't live on a globe earth. That is a fact. To back up my thesis on this, Revelation 7 verse 1 talks about the angels, the four angels at the four corners of the earth, holding back the four winds against the land and the sea. Why would the scripture make reference to the four corners of the earth? I've been asking this question. Does a ball have corners? Can a globe have four corners? Sometimes let's just sit down and think. Let's forget about some kind of theories that some people just threw out, to the world, and we were born into it, and we just happen to, believe in it that way. It's time for us to begin to reflect and think deep. Think even deeper. Have a better understanding about how the universe was formed. Somebody asked me a question. I was having this discussion with a friend, and she said, if Adam and Eve were not created on this part of the earth, how would that stop her from going to heaven? That's the problem. You have been filled with so much information about heaven that even you yourself have failed to even go to the scriptures and even study yourself to find out the truth about this so-called heaven you are talking about. Who even told you that you are going to heaven? Who told you you are going to heaven? Go back to your scripture. It's time for everybody to start studying the scriptures. Get to the facts. Know the truth about this life that we are living. That's the point I was trying to make to her. I said, if you go deep into knowledge and wisdom, over time, you will become aware of deceptions. You'll be able to remove yourself from deception. You are going to pull yourself away. You're going to stay far from deception. So what knowledge does is it opens your mind, it opens your imagination, it opens your thoughts. You begin to think deeper, and you have better insight on how things work. What knowledge does is it gives you become open to information, lots of informations. What wisdom does, it helps you to manage those informations. What understanding does is how those information works, how to apply them, the application of those knowledge. It is important we have all of this so that when we talk with facts. We can be bold in what we say. I'm not saying I know it all. I don't even know anything. Like I said, the more you know, the more it looks as if you don't know anything. So, to establish this, my thesis on Adam and Eve, I am going to establish it on the fact that the earth will live on a flat earth. No doubt about that. Yeah. It's like a tableland, but it has hills, mountains, valleys. It has all of that. But when you talk about a globe earth, count me out of it. I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm not trying to brainwash anybody. But these are facts. Go back, go and study. Why would Revelation 7 verse 1 talk about the four corners of the earth? North, east, west, south. Why? Talking about the four angels at the four corners of the earth. That's the fact. So we live on a flat earth. The sooner we understand that, the better for us. Now, I'm going to explain further. I believe that Adam and Eve were not created on this part of our earth. These are my reasons. On a flat earth, Enoch made mention. A lot of us, we don't study the works of Enoch, the writings of Enoch. We don't. We don't know that Enoch saw a lot of things. We just feel he walked with God. That's what the people who wrote the Bible, that's what they want you to feel, that he just walked with God. He walked closely with God, and he wrote so much that even the scientists cannot even wrap their head around it. Enoch made mention of the depths of the earth, the far corners of the earth. It means there are things beyond these continents that we are living in. A lot of people suggest that, we have multiple layers of continents, and it's true. The 7 continents and the islands we have is just part of our own layer. Go and study very well. You will notice that not the sea now, Yeah, we've not charted any part of the sea at all. Just few percent of the sea that we've charted. The land itself, scientists will tell you, archaeologists will tell you that they have not charted. I think they've not charted at least 60%. I think so, 60 or 70% of the earth. What does that tell you? That tells you that there are places we don't still know. There are places we have not been to. There are places on this earth that we have not been to, that we don't even know exist. So these continents we have, the 7 continents we have, these are the places we know. So some people believe that we're on different layers and they feel like we're in the middle. There is an ice wall around where we are. Then you have another continent, you have another ice wall. However they want to say it, they might be right. There are facts that suggest, people say, oh, Antarctica is just a little place that has a lot of ice. And Antarctica is bigger than we think. It goes around us. I was discussing with a friend. Let me bring this. I was discussing with a friend, and I said, if they feel, because when you look at the map of the world, you have the east, you have the west, you have the south, you have the north. And when you look at Russia, you see Russia are up north, right? I don't know if I'm correct, but I know Russia are very close to that's why they have the kind of weather they have. That's why they have the kind of weather they have. Then I'm asking, South Africa, go to your map and look at South Africa. Can somebody explain why South Africa has the kind of weather they have? Why they have the kind of weather they have? I believe that South Africa is close to the edge of the Antarctica. That's my belief. They are close to the ice wall. That's my belief. That's why South Africa weather is the way it is. Yeah, we have pockets of such weathers around some African, but you can't compare it with what South Africa has. That tells you that we are surrounded by ice. Sorry, I'm not into archaeology. I can't really bring much facts on that, but this is just my thinking for us to understand what I'm trying to say. Moving forward, if we have established the fact that the earth has several layers, and we have layers we have never ever been to. We have layers that we have never ever been to. That tells you that there are still other continents away from where we are. And that's why I want to base my fact on the fact that life did not start from this our own layer. Let me explain. When God created Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, I don't believe the Garden of Eden is in any of these our continents. Because the Garden of Eden is not a small garden. When you study the book of Enoch, you will understand that the Garden of Eden is huge. It's vast. It has different layers of it. There are trees, there are fruits, There are things that are there that we have never seen. It's a special garden, and it is not located in any of these places we are. That's why people cannot find it. They have tried searching, they have tried all clues, and you cannot find it because it is not in this our own layer. Adam and Eve were created in the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden is not located in any of this our layer. Now, to prove what I'm saying, it brings me to the flood. What brought humans to this path is the flood during the time of Noah. Guess what? They said Cain settled in the land of Nod. Nobody has been able to explain where that land of Nod is in this our own continent. Nobody knows. But how come Moses or the writers of the Old Testament were able to locate where the Ark of Noah landed upon, stayed upon, rested upon? Ararat in Genesis 8:4. How come they were able to know there? How come they were able to locate? They were able to name it. And some believe, it's around the east, around somewhere around the Middle East, or is it Turkey or somewhere? They believe it landed upon a mountain there. How come they were able to know that? The time between the flood and the time when Cain settled in the land of Nod, nobody in this world is able to explain where the land of Nod is. This is the point I'm trying to make. It took the flood over 150 days. So it means in the land of Nod, remember, in Genesis 4:16, when Cain settled in the land of Nod, Cain also founded another city, named it after his son Enoch. Remember, that city of Enoch, can anybody explain where that city is in this our continent? In this layer that we are now? In any of the, whether east, west, north, south, can anybody explain where that city that Cain founded, that he named after his son Enoch? Can anybody just explain that, okay, the city we know is in Iraq, or we know is in Iran, or we know is in Russia, or we know is in Africa, or in the US? Can somebody just explain where that city that Cain founded, that he named after his son Enoch, is in this part of our layer? How come 150 days after the flood, over 150 days, that's about 7 months after the flood, Moses and the writers of the Bible were able to locate where the ark rested in Ararat? Let's think. How come 150 days, over 150 days after the flood, they are able to understand that this is where the ark rested? And 150 days before, they are not able to tell us the land of Nod or the land of Enoch. Nobody is able to explain that. It means Enoch was somewhere before the flood happened. So they cannot trace the land that Enoch was before, where Cain was before. Nobody could pinpoint where those lands were. Nobody. But now, after the flood, we are now able to pinpoint that the land, that where the ark rested, is on Ararat. Telling you now that the ark was able to move from a particular, from a distance, and moved it to where we are now. Where humans, where we now understand and now know, okay, this is where this place is. But before that ark came and rested on Ararat, nobody could explain either where the Garden of Eden is, or where Cain rested, the land of Nod, or the land he founded that he named after his son Enoch. Nobody is able to explain that. How come? That's why I'm saying that Adam and Eve were not created on this part of our layer. They were created somewhere far away from this part of our earth. Garden of Eden is not located anywhere around this our continent. I asked one question in my previous video also, and I said, the blazing sword that the Almighty kept in the garden to guard the entrance to the garden, and is a blazing sword that moves back and forth. A flaming sword. So you want to tell me if we have any flaming sword now anywhere around these continents that we are in, you want to tell me that nobody has been able to discover it? A flaming sword. It's something that could be visible. You will know that this place is terrifying. You can't get there. You will know, this place I cannot get there. You will know. So Adam and Eve were not created on this part of our layer. Life started distance from this place, miles away, distance that we cannot explain, away from here. So Adam and Eve were created in the Garden of Eden, which is not located in this our layer. According to the scripture, they said the garden was east of Eden, and the Lord God created a garden in Eden. All the Euphrates River, those 4 rivers that, goes into the garden and out of the garden. A lot of people have tried to use some rivers that are located in this our own, that is located in this our own continent. Those are not the rivers. The Garden of Eden is far away from where we are. It's still on this earth. This earth is bigger than we think. The earth is bigger than we think. And we are going to keep proving it. That's why there are places you cannot go to. Some people will tell you the Bermuda Triangle and all that. See, there are some atom of truth in all these things. That some kind of plane or ship will just disappear and you don't see it anymore. There are atom of truth to all this. Those things have moved into another layer. So there are different layers on this earth. Adam and Eve did not live on this our layer. They lived very far from our layer. They lived very, very far from our layer. It was the flood that were able to migrate Noah and his children away from where life started from to this continent that we have now. It all makes sense. It was the flood. It moved because the flood went as high, covered the entire, the tallest mountain in the world. Oh, do we think Everest is the tallest mountain? No. Go and study the book of Enoch. There are 7 mountains far from where we are now. I think the book of Enoch mentioned the north. No, it mentioned the south, where those mountains are. 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, and 1 in the middle. And those mountains, the one in the middle is where God is going to come and visit earth and rest after the end of time. Go and study the book of Enoch and understand all of this. That brings me to my friend that was saying that what does all this knowledge, what would those knowledge contribute to her going to heaven? For all the people that believe they want to go to heaven, everybody is going to remain on earth after the judgment. There's no heaven. You want to go to where God is? You want to go to his kingdom and stay? You can't. He created the earth for humans to inhabit, and earth we must inhabit. For those people thinking that there is one heaven somewhere that they are going, they are not going anywhere. After judgment, everybody comes back to the earth. It's there in your scriptures, and I wonder why it takes people, it's difficult for people to understand these facts. Please stop lying to yourself or to yourselves. It's time you embrace truth and know the fact about life. So, Mount Everest is not the tallest mountain in the world or the highest mountain in the world. So if Everest is not the highest mountain in the world and the flood happened, and they said the flood went high above the mountains, feet above the mountains, imagine how high the flood must have been. So Enoch and his children in the ark must have traveled a far distance. The whole wind, the storm, the wind pushing the ark must have pushed the ark to this point that we are now, and rested here for life to begin here. This is the point I'm trying to make. And it's fact. Check your scriptures very well. Study the book of Enoch. You'll begin to have this understanding of what I'm saying. Life is not as simple as we think. But if you set your mind to it, you'll begin to understand these things. You'll begin to unravel a lot of secrets and a lot of truth. So simple. Adam and Eve did not begin from this. Our life did not begin from this, our own layer of the earth. Life started from distance away from where we are. It was a flood that brought everyone to this place. The flood brought Enoch. The flood brought Noah and his children to this our continent where we are. That's why Moses and the writers of the scriptures were able to identify where the ark rested. They were able to name the place. At least archaeologists are able to pinpoint and say, yeah, this is the exact place. Even if not the exact place, but they have an idea, the region where Ararat is. But prior to the flood, nobody is able to say, oh, land of Nod is here, or the land of Enoch is here. Nobody. Let them come out and prove it with facts. That tells you that life did not start here. It started somewhere else, and the flood brought us to where we are now. And God has a reason for everything. I believe I've been able to explain this, but it's just left for us to go back and study. I know some people will always be against you, but truth is always true. Just all you need to do is sit down and think. Don't start typing in the comment section and start typing all manner of things. You don't need it. Just go back, relax, think about it, ponder about it. Put some pieces together and you will understand this fact. For me, I understand it already. There are things I don't trouble myself about. There are things I don't trouble myself. I don't trouble myself about it because I already know how it is. Me, I know there are depths in this earth that we have never covered, that we don't even know, that we don't even have any idea about. There are depths that we do not know. Scientists will all tell you, they will tell us they have not charted 60 or 70% of the earth. There are places we don't know. These are facts. So in my next video, everyone should brace up. There are deep things I'm bringing out. Please, don't be quick to judge me. Allow God to be my judge. Yours is just listen. If you don't like it, let it go. But I always believe there are people that have an open heart, that will always allow these words to get into them. And they will also go and do the research. It's important. Don't just listen and just run with it. No. Listen, try and understand, then go back and research. Like I told you, Revelation 7:1, chapter 7, verse 1. Go and study it. You know there are four corners of the earth. That is a fact that the earth is not round, is not a globe. It's a flat earth. Genesis 8:6, verse 4. When the ark rested on Ararat, it means humans, whoever wrote the Bible, be it Moses or the people that transcribed the scriptures, they were able to identify Ararat to be in a particular region. Genesis 4:16, the land of Nod where Cain settled, and the land he founded and named after his son Enoch. No one has been able to prove where that place, the existence of that place on this part of our continent. So there are truths that we are going to be unveiling. There are truths we are going to open up. There are facts we are going to be bringing to the table. I have a lot of things I'm going to talk about. So let's brace up. Please, we don't want any selfish comments. We don't want any funny comments. Like I told you, like I told every one of us, if you are coming to comment in my comment section, come with your facts, whether you agree or you don't agree. Bring your facts. Don't come and talk like people who are not, who don't come from a very responsible family. I want to believe we are all from a responsible family. We're all taught how to comport ourselves. Let's not go about people's comment section and start throwing tantrums here and there. Please. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the Garden of Eden, the temptation, the fall of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Who made them fall? The spirit of wisdom. Who made them fall? The then spirit of wisdom. Who is the spirit of wisdom? I know this one will scare a lot of people. The spirit of wisdom is higher than the angels. The spirit of wisdom is the one that brings about knowledge upon the creation of God. The spirit of wisdom brings about the knowledge of good and evil to God's creations. It's a title It's a rank that is higher than the angels. That's why they call him the guardian cherub. Let me give you a sneak peek to what I'm saying. Let me let the cat out of the bag. The devil was, hear what I'm saying, the devil was the spirit of wisdom. In my next video, I'm going to explain this. So let's brace up for more revelations. And I'm going to be coming with my facts. See you guys.